Welcome and happy greetings from Berlin. And in today's session, actually, I would use the chance to give you an update on the next release. So it's called 1704 SP2. And maybe in the beginning, just to mention some general things on that release. The first one is, as you might have expected, SP2 to be, let's say, bug fix and stability release. This time, actually, we have changed the game. So actually, this is the first SP2 release we're providing, which comes with a lot of features in it. And I just want to make you aware, in the future, we will not have any more a major version, which is actually released in April, but we want to provide a feature pack per quarter, so quarterly. So that means the next feature pack will actually be released in 1802, then in 1805, and so on. Along with that, as you have seen now, we will align our release schedule with the SuccessFactors release cycle. And that's why actually we will deliver now, from now on, 2 weeks later. Again, the next release then will not be provided in January 15, but on 1st February, and then the next one 1st May. So why we want and why we are able to ship now features on quarterly base is actually because we have redesigned our development cycle to be able, based on our cloud delivery model, to be able to ship features and enhancements in short time periods to our customers. And again, that's why you can expect now to have feature packs per quarter, which I think is quite good, because we do not need to wait to roll out new features for a year, but we can just deliver that in the next quarter. And so let's see how that goes. So with regards to SP2, we have focused on the in-app help with regards to both the desktop assistant and the web assistant. And on the other side, actually, we have concentrated and continued our simplicity and usability story. And that means we have improved the usability for both content developers and for the consumers, for the consumption side as well. So I would like to use the next, let's say, 45 minutes to just go briefly through the release notes to show you some of the features. Please do not hesitate to ask questions if you have them. As you know, you will get the release notes. There within the release notes, you will find Enable Now buttons, which will actually provide you with interactive training materials to get further details. And I think by just following the release notes, actually you should be able to adopt the latest enhancements and changes quite easily. Again, do not hesitate to ask any questions. I will not check the chat here, so please just speak loudly in the moment you have any question. So let's just scroll a little down, and maybe let's start with the first one, the Create New Object Assistant. Maybe let's go into the product directly to show it live. And in SP2, when clicking on the plus button here, what we have now provided here is the Create New Object Assistant, because actually we felt and we got the feedback that numerous customers do not know, okay, what kind of assets actually I can create by using Enable Now. Still, some people thinking like, okay, it's a good simulation recording tool, but what else is supported is actually not that obvious when you start working with a product. So that's why we have provided that assistant here. Finally, it's the same what you could do beforehand, but you have a little description in it, which should help to get an idea of what kind of assets are supported and how to create them, and for which purpose actually you're going to create them. And what I'm quite happy about, even those two guys here, the import PowerPoint and import images options for book pages have been now provided here as well. Again, they have been available even beforehand, but it was quite cumbersome to find them. And this is something you need always to explain. So I'm quite happy to provide them here. Maybe just to give you an idea how we will continue with that dialog. In the future, actually, it is planned to make that dialog configurable for customers. So that means like they can, in the scoping workshop, they can decide which kind of content assets they want to create. So that means like only those kind of content formats should be provided, what they have decided on. And the other one is like that actually assets can be created on the templates that a customer is creating for themselves. So that means like, okay, that dialog in the future will be configurable and customizable a little bit more, but that is actually the first start, which I think is a good one. Okay, then let's continue with palettes that are provided. Let me just open an example project here. And what else is provided now in both in the simulation and book page editor. Yes, actually the palette concept. That means whatever you have to insert, it's following the same principle. So you get a little icon, get a little overview, including a description of what it is, what it does. And actually by doing so, I think we could reduce a little bit the enablement effort because, okay, now actually a content developer is seeing what kind of object is being inserted and is getting an ID before inserting it. And quite standard in other products, but what I'm quite happy about is like, okay, even for the shapes, we have now a little preview, and it's not that cumbersome to insert those kind of objects here and shapes. Maybe let me create a book page. So you just can see this is done for book pages as well. So it's not only done. Wait, someone to admit. So the very same here. So that means whenever you have an object to be inserted, then you will get a little palette that is shown here. And again, this is just to continue the story to make the authoring a little bit more easy. And yeah, again, we have several other items we want to provide in the future here. So I hope you like that kind of stuff. Okay, then we have spoken about the object assistant, object palettes. Then just a little thing, the Info Center access. As you know, previously the Info Center was directly available from within the help menu provided in Producer. And what we have just changed now, we have put in a button directly on the main toolbar. Maybe for your information, I don't know what kind of feedback you are getting or receiving with regards to the Info Center. We are seeing that a lot of customers and content developers are using it. Meanwhile, we have around, I think, like 9,000 users, unique users in the Info Center since a year, and per day, I would say, in between now 250 and 300 users per day enabling themselves in the Info Center. So we are receiving quite good feedback on it, and that's why we wanted to make it a little bit more prominent to access all the relevant materials. And maybe to say that in advance, in 2 weeks, we will provide an updated component training in the Info Center. So that means like the reference library will be enhanced and updated with regards to the basic component training. And that's why I think, whenever you're on customer side, just make them aware, clicking on the button to retrieve actually or search for the information that is needed. So then next one is about interactive guided what's new tours. As you might remember, we have introduced the interactive guided tours along with the April release. What is an interactive guided tour? So it's just let's say a process guidance, but the special thing here is actually that there is no context needed because it is just running on top of a screen, so actually running on any application. And we have used those interactive guided tools now for ourselves. Or maybe let me go first and click the Enable Now button. Because, of course, the interactive guided tours are provided in the Info Center in the Content and Template section. You will find the guided tours section. And here actually we have provided for 5 new features, interactive guided tours. You can expect more interactive guided tours, even on best practices in the future, to be downloaded in the Info Center. And just let me show you on how that works. Let me start a guided tour, for instance, on how to customize playback mode icons, which is actually a new feature in that latest version here as well. So that means customer or you can just download the guided tour to be imported in the Producer as a DKP file, and most probably you will get the question, can I play back the interactive guided tour even though I do not have Desktop Assistant or Desktop Assistant licensed? The answer is yes, by just using the producer playback, again, by opening the project, clicking on the play icon, and then actually the guided tour starts. So the guided tour actually is hosted by Johnny, and Johnny is guiding you then step by step through the latest feature. Again, why we have done that, actually for two reasons. The first one, we wanted to give you as well a showcase on how to use guided tour and how it looks like, so it's easy to demonstrate. You can get the idea, and of course, it's important for ourselves like to raise the adoption of the latest feature and to make it a little bit more simple. And again, there will be way more guided tours in the future. So just let's follow the guided tour. Then we have just spoken about that feature on how to change the playback mode icons. So you can guide them by simply using the arrow buttons here. And here's just like, okay, why do I need to customize playback items? So icons, it's just giving the story. And here actually in the library, you will find them. And we have been asked quite often, like, okay, can we actually make that customizable, which is now possible. So let me follow that one. So it is just advising you that you have to make sure that you actually have the right permission, because you're now going to change the trainer style to make that happen. I have them already retrieved. Okay, then I should open the style editor. I should go open to customization, to edit style resources. Okay, done. What's next? Select the trainer style. Done. What's next? Then actually I should go to the part of the start button section here, which I have done. And at the end, I have to activate the use custom icons and to select it. So I'm doing that right here. And once I've done that, actually, here I have access to all the icons that are used for the playback modes. So that means that guided tour actually was quite helpful because it was guiding me. It was not only guiding me to the respective feature, but it was also giving me some valuable background information of how I have to do that. And yeah, it's introducing the new feature in yeah, a really good way and scalable way, I think. So at the end, you can close the editor. Once you have changed it, and at the end, for instance here, if you have exchanged the icons, it will look like that once you're going to regenerate the library. Okay, so that was actually a guided tour. And again, for that release, actually, we have 5 guided tours, which is about filter playback modes for publishing, the new workflow dialog I will show you afterwards, checkout of objects dialog, and the all raw report I will show you later on. So that means that, okay, this is guided tour. It's not really a producer or Enable Now feature, but this is about content and about adoption. And again, it should show actually how it works. The next one, yeah, quite simple one, progress dialogues. As you might know, our progress dialogues have been quite, let's say, technical. Providing any kind of technical detail, you actually don't need to know in the moment you're performing an action. So what we have just done, we have simplified that kind of dialogues, and you can access any kind of detail by using the Show Details button, but it's looking way less technical than before. So just a little one, but yeah. Slovak user interface has been added. A project interface for Slovak we had already before, so now actually you can change the interface itself. Cursor update, not a big deal. It's just because of the DPI scaling, yeah, to meet actually our optimizations from the last release, also for the cursor itself. So let's go further to the all raw report. And yeah, as you might know, our reports are not that, for some cases, are not that helpful right now, and we're getting a lot of requests on enhancing and optimizing the reports. So what we could do short term is actually provide that raw report, because a lot of customers are asking just to get all the data out that is actually provided in order to use additional tools. So that means visualization tools for data like SAP Lumira to create their own fancy reports afterwards. So that means they will need actually to have all the data which are not having dependencies as in our other reports. So which kind of data is included in the all raw report? It's about the learning content itself. It's about the content usage. and the learner attempts. Again, and there is no relationships, so the dependencies. So that means like finally that kind of data can be used to create their own dependencies, for instance, in SAP Lumira. So that means first you have to export the report, quite easy. If you have the permissions, then you just go to the report section, go to the learning reporter, and then there, as you can see, you can export the report itself. And in that guide here, actually, you will find two further simulations. Maybe let's go through them just to give you an idea on how to prepare and how to use that data, for instance, by using SAP Lumira, to give you just an idea on how that works. And what you have to take care before using it in Lumira and importing it, to just delete the meta information, so the first four rows that are provided here. And once you have done that, just go ahead and save it accordingly. Maybe to mention that as well, you can still export Lumira, the raw report as an Excel. I would not recommend to do so because Excel actually has limitations. So I think it's limited to 1 million rows in total. And just imagine what kind of amount of data you could actually generate by using that report. So always use, instead of using an Excel, use a CSV, which is much better and will work quite well. So, and in that simulation, actually, then in the next step, you will find the idea on how to import that data into Lumira, and how to design a typical report here, and how actually it is done to create nice reports at the end. Okay. So here in that case, we have also used geodata. That means like, okay, if the location is maintained in the organizational structure, then you can make use of that data. Just be aware that actually the geolocation is done via name mapping. So hence an identifiable name should be provided there. And by doing so, actually, you can split that up in the Lumira configuration. Again, that configuration in Lumira you just have to do once. So whenever you just import an updated Excel CSV sheet, then actually the configuration still remains. So that can be used. So you just have to do it once, and afterwards, yeah, you can simply update that report quite easily. So, and again, by using that location data, you can even, and we have used that, by the way, for the info center as well, you can even get an idea, okay, where actually the courses have been consumed, and can put that into the respect, or can create that kind of dependency here. Again, play around with that by yourself. Use that simulation, which is quite good and gives you a good idea on how to do that. And again, this is what we could do short term to provide our customers all the data, and to allow them to create their own reports by using further applications like SAP Lumira. Another question we receive quite often: can I automate that process of exporting that report? Currently, the answer is in the product standard is no, because you can, of course, you can schedule that report, but then actually you will get it via email, and as mentioned, it could be quite big, and then you have to manually save it on the right location to be updated. What we will do, we will provide for our consultants and partners, we will provide a script soon, which is actually doing that kind of automation, and yeah, you can expect that maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks to be provided in the consulting community. All right, then check out and check in of knowledge objects. So we have just improved little things, which I think is still quite important. So let's say, okay, I'm clicking on finish editing. And as you can see here, that dialog actually has been a little bit optimized, has been reduced by options that are not required for standard content developer. So that means we just wanted to make it a little bit more easy to check in the content. So it's quite easy now. That means like, okay, I just need to change the status. I have to assign it. to the very next step. If I have the permission, I can publish it and force a new version for rollback scenario and just provide a comment and finally click on finish editing. So yeah, checking in the content should be a little bit more easier right now. You will find all the other options in this change workflow dialog. So all the advanced options that have been previously been in the other dialog, you can find here in the change workflow dialog. But again, save to server and finish editing, those dialogs have been a little bit reduced to make it a little bit more easy. Another thing that has been improved is to check out objects. Just let me open the dialog here. And just, I would say like three to four little things, but actually the dialog was a little bit crap before, because let's imagine, okay, you have a large content structure containing like thousands of knowledge objects. So what we have done is when clicking on checkout, we have provided the expanded tree. So the whole tree has been expanded to the maximum level. So I was quite cumbersome to just get to the detail, to scroll around and to look for actually the object or the structure you want to check out, or the substructure. So that means, okay, the first thing that has been changed is now it is starting in a collapsed way. So you can quite easily go from top down to the area you want to go. Another one is like, okay, now it has actually a maximize button, which was not the case before. And just keep in mind, now we have just put in a little help here as well using CTRL and click. Select a single item for the subtree and the respective required items from the parent object as well. So that should be a little bit more easy. The last one, what has been optimized here, is about check out folder structure only, which is quite important. So in case you do not want to download the whole content tree at once, but want to have the structure, what we have done before is when downloading the content structure, books have been contained here as well, because books are kind of structure elements. But actually there was a little bit of irritating, like, okay, why do I check out books if I would just want to have the structure here? So that means with SP2, when checking out the folder structure only folders will be checked out. We have excluded books now. So, all right, then just a little one. Synchronization modes have been a little bit optimized as well. So just let's say, create a new asset here. And as you can see here, what we have done is actually two changes. The first one was like the latest status of synchronization mode or synchronization behavior has been saved and has been the default value. So let's say I'm creating now an object and making it unmanaged. Then my next object I'm going to create will be unmanaged as a default value as well, which is actually not a good behavior. Because finally, when inserting an object or creating a new object for parent, you want to inherit from parent and want to have the same synchronization behavior as the parent object. So that is actually the first change. So the default value is always based on the parent object. And the other one is like previously we just had here inherit from parent, but actually you did not know what does it mean. So what is actually the synchronization behavior of the parent? And that is not provided here in brackets directly behind. So not a big deal, but helping a little bit. The next one is about the archive export from manager. Quite easy as well. And as you know, we have already the import function from the manager, and now here actually you have the export archive option. Just be aware when exporting archives from manager, there is no selection dialog afterwards. So whatever tree or subtree you have selected before, it is exporting all included objects when using that option here. Why we have put that option in, because actually when just having the need to export content, it was quite cumbersome because you needed first to download the producer, then you needed to download the content, and finally to be able to export it. So you can do that now directly in the manager, and this is just another part. As you know, we want to provide more and more functionality from producer to be accessed directly via manager. So then we have work area filters, just a little one. When having When using the work area filters in Producer, so whenever you are going to enable a filter, actually in the past, that filter was not considered for each and every function. So, and that has been now improved. That means a filter is now considered even when generating a compound document or a master document, when exporting a work area structure, or even working with SAP Solution Manager connection. So that has now been enhanced. That was quite urgent. One, just be aware, the only thing where filters are not working right now is for the replace page key option required for the desktop assistant. So here by now filters are not being considered yet. That will be provided quite soon. Then we should have everything here. Course assignment links, just let me click on the learning material here. Quite simple one as well. If you're going to assign a course, finally, it was quite cumbersome, like to get the link to the course. So finally, you needed to be part of that group as well to be able to access the course, to just get the link out of the course, to just send the link to the learners or embed the link somewhere else. And yeah, that was actually a customer request we receive quite often, so that's why we have provided now that additional link option. So that means whenever you're going to sign a course, you can simply click the link option, and there you will get the deep link, including the QR code, which could be shared with the end users. All right. Automatic resource publishing, just a little one. It's just changing the default value for the SQL manager so that the resources are published automatically. HANA 2.0 is now supported, not a big deal. But let's continue with the process tutorials. I like that a lot, I have to say, and because we have been asked a couple of times, like, okay, I just want to create a video. Do I have to use another tool, or is Enable Now able to do that? So, and so far of course, you could actually export videos based on a simulation project, but that was not a full motion video. So you did not get actually all the animations, hover states, whatever is required. And we received that kind of question more and more often, let's say for informal learning, just uploading some stuff for presentations. So that means not having bubbles or highlights in the video, but just for simple presentations. And yeah, I'm quite happy that this is not supported now. Let's see how that works. So I'm creating now a new simulation. Say this is my video simulation. Now I'm starting the recording. Let's use Word for that. And now we have to consider two things. The first one is like to make that full motion recording available, or to enable it actually. Everything is based on the quick recording. So first we have to choose the quick recording. Then actually, once you have chosen the quick recording, you can select the record screencast video option. And yeah, that's actually it. Then just go ahead. And let me do some recording, some clicks here, just to give you an idea on how that works. And that is another one, because quite often we have been even asked by developers, okay, I want to show on how I'm doing some coding stuff, and that was not possible before. As you know, like in the free text field and the multi-line text field, actually it's quite cumbersome to record based on our object-based recognition, and I just wanted to show you on how that actually looks in a video. Just let me generate now the video, which can be done under Tools, Generate Screencast Video. So when generating it, as you might know already from the other video export, you will get a little preview on how it looks like. And finally, the video will be provided in the folder of the respective project. So how does it work? During that special recording mode, actually, we are making way more screenshots than in our normal recording. And those screens are actually then being used to create that full motion recording at the end. So just let's see how that looks like. So just let's play it back. So and as you can see, you have now real mouse movements, you have the hover states accordingly, any let's say even animation effects and that kind of stuff. So it's a full motion video that is now provided here. Okay, so from technical perspective, how does it work? Just go ahead if you have done that kind of recording, have a right click to open a folder. Just have to look. So open the folder, and what you can see here, compared to other projects, you will have a QR frames folder in addition. And when opening it, you get an idea, okay, what additional screenshots have been saved here. So be aware that kind of projects are way bigger than normal projects, and actually you should not use them that way, let's say for the standard learning, for the standard content rollout. But what you can do once you have exported your video, and you still want to use that project as a simulation to be rolled out to your end users, you can just delete the additional frames. So, and this is done via the Tools menu, delete screencast frames, and then actually you will just have a standard simulation, with a standard size of a simulation that can actually use to be rolled out. Just be aware, once you have deleted the screencast frames, then actually it's not possible to generate that kind of video, full motion video out of that. Okay. Then new recording bars. You can just see them here. Actually, just a little improvement with a big effect. Just go ahead and have a recording. It looks way better than before. So it gives a clear color state, whether you're ready, green, pause, or it's busy, red, and the whole recording bar is reflecting that color compared to before. So then we have context file. We had some customers who asked us, okay, can you just add another parameter, another context to be captured automatically? So the system ID that actually is now being provided here. That means based on SAP GUI recordings, we will grab that context information now automatically, and which can be finally found in the context information here and to be used in the context HTML file afterwards. All right, then SAP GUI embedded in Internet Explorer. Here we just have, because we have that case more and more often, that customers are using SAP GUI embedded in Internet Explorer. And so far, when you started the recording, the SAP GUI profile was not chosen automatically, but the IE profile has been chosen, and that has been now optimized. Another one, update object image and highlight. You might know that already. So whenever you have done that on a cropped screen, actually it was quite cumbersome, and you were not able to go beside that cropped area. So that's why actually we are showing the whole screenshot now when you try to update the object image, even though the image has been cropped before. So we are showing for that option the whole screenshot. Application profile restriction. That's an interesting one, I think, for projects. And again, this is a customer request as well. As you know, you can create placeholders for projects, but often, let's say, even for subject matter experts. But quite often, let's say, okay, you have a custom profile, or you want to ensure that actually your subject matter experts are working with the right profile for that application. So you can simply now restrict the profile to a project. So how does it work? Once you have done that, actually, the user will not be able to change the profile before the recording, and the setting can be accessed in the central settings dialog here on the profile change section. And once you have done that and change it to restrict profile, you can choose a respective profile. And again, you should most probably not do that on a global level, but you can do that actually to prepare your project placeholders, then finally to be shared and assigned to your subject matter expert to ensure they're using the right profile. Application profiles have been improved. Maybe just some words that you know about, because I think the SAP GUI is quite important. SAP GUI profile has been optimized to support SAP GUI version 7.5 now. But there is a little but, because we are not yet supporting the Belize theme. Along with the SAP GUI 7.5 release, actually, the release theme has been announced as well and introduced here, but this is not yet supported because there were too many changes at last minute. So we will support that for the future, but it's not supported yet. SAP GUI 7.5 add-on is supported, but not when using the release theme. Then actually the SAP web profile has been optimized, some controls, and SuccessFactors profile has been optimized. As you know, SuccessFactors Group is currently changing their UI technology to UI5. That means like we have added way more UI5 definitions here to meet that change in the SuccessFactors UI. So then we have customizable playback mode icons. You have seen that already via the guided tour. You can now hide the play pause button, not a big deal for books in the book settings. Yeah, but let's go to the desktop assistant, and actually here I'm quite happy. Let me just start the desktop assistant. Where do I have it? Okay, so as you can see, we have changed, we have updated, optimized the layout from of the desktop assistant, and yeah, I think it looks quite nice. The basic functionality is the same. And for internals, we have updated our showcase as well. You can just go to the internal info center to download the showcase now, and yeah, that has been updated as well. Again, what has been updated in addition is like, okay, you get the play button, the immediately play button for the respective content on a hover state. Yeah, it comes with a little animation effect, which looks quite nice. And the other one, I think quite important, is that we actually reduced the way to access additional information. So once you have clicked on the details, you can now access any additional information just by using that little button here. You do not have to go to a separate page and then go back and forward and just to access them directly from here. So that was kind of customer feedback as well, and which is now actually here considered in the new layout. Most important, maybe your customers will ask, okay, but we have changed actually our desktop assistant look and feel and the style editor. So when migrating to the SP2 version, how does that work? Actually, it should be done automatically. That means like via migration, we are taking the main colors of the customized desktop assistant style to be applied on the new desktop assistant layout. So actually this should be done automatically and to be considered here. Another one, based on customer feedback as well, we have now provided an exit button that can be actually be configured in the central settings. Because again, like before, it was like not that obvious on how to close the desktop assistant. It was just possible via systray. And now you can just configure that button to be shown here, and when you're clicking it, then actually you will get the last question, and then the desktop assistant closes. Another one, Google Chrome support. When you go to install the SP2 version of Desktop Assistant, there will be a checkbox in the installation process asking you, would you like to add the Chrome extension, which is required for the Chrome playback. And when using the Chrome extension, actually what is supported, the page-based delivery of contents in Chrome. That means whenever you have created a desktop assistant, as you just have seen, to deliver kind of material based on the current application and page, then actually by using that Chrome plugin or extension, then actually this is being displayed for Chrome as well. Let's say if the Chrome plugin has been uninstalled, you can also use that. Let's see, where is it? Chrome Store. So when you go to the Chrome Store, you can even download that here separately and just enable now. And here we will have the plugin directly. So that means like, because quite important, whenever, let's say, an user is uninstalling it manually, and this is actually a Chrome restriction, there's no possibility to put it on again from our side. That means like then actually it has to be downloaded from the Chrome store and to be activated in Chrome. All right, then we're running a little bit out of time. We just optimized the document that has been can be created by users by using the record function provided from within the desktop assistant. So now it comes with cropped screenshots and with practice mode text instead of the demo text. The exit button we have seen already. Now the focus layer, in case it is activated for simulations, is also considered when the simulation is started from within the desktop assistant, which was not the case in the latest release. Garniture bubbles have been optimized here from look and feel perspective to make them a little bit more clear and modernized. Then actually, maybe let's skip those little parts here because I think we're running out of time. Yeah, because I just wanted to speak about that one, and then wanted to give you the possibility to ask some questions. And that is another major step forward with regards to the web assistant, because the web assistant now comes for S4HANA Cloud, comes with a learning app, which is integrated now. Because within SAP there's a group and they're creating task tutorials by using SAP Enable Now. And finally the question was like, okay, how can we deliver those task tutorials to our end users in a good and expected way? And that's why actually we invented the learning app, and which makes it now the web assistant a little bit more similar to the desktop assistant in providing any kind of content based on the current context. So just let's see on how that works in real time. So I just opened here a test app. So let's say, okay, I'm open now the web assistant here. And when using now the learning app, which is just a tile in the carousel actually, then what pops up is just like, okay, recommended learning based on the current context. So that means like whenever there is some, the context is matching, the same as in desktop assistant, so of the content that is provided and the context of the application the user is currently in, then you will get all the respective formats here. When clicking on it on a simulation or an overview page, let me just click on that overview page, you can access that kind of content directly. And here actually on that overview page you have access to all the simulations that might be suitable. And finally you can start that simulation directly here and to go through now step by step and whatever is provided here. So this is embedded learning. That means the user does not have to leave, has to search for any additional information, but it's provided directly from within the app. And afterwards, actually, from user perspective, of course, I can send feedback to the content developer, so which is then provided directly to the SAP group by rating the content and providing a comment to it, which is, I think, quite good. And on the other side, let's say if there is no learning content matching for the current page, then actually the learning center will be opened automatically, but you can even open it manually. And actually by accessing the learning center, you will get all of the content that is provided for that app. You can filter the content based on the respective role. So let's say, okay, what am I? Let's say, okay, I'm an HR manager here. So, okay, how to do the time recording. So you can filter the content quite easily here by role or by content type on the other side. Maybe let's get back to some typical questions here. So for which apps this is currently supported? Currently it's supported for S4HANA Cloud. So an S4HANA Cloud customer will get that kind of learning app directly embedded. On the other side, it is planned to provide that for S4HANA on-prem as well. For S4HANA on-prem. And maybe to mention that already by now, I think some of you have heard that already. Of course, currently we're working on making the web assistant also available for SuccessFactors, which we want to do actually in the beginning of next year. We're working on that item already since a while, and and closely with the SuccessFactors group, and the very same, not only the web assistant but even the learning app and standard learning content should also be provided for SuccessFactors. And that is actually from our side, that's a big competitive advantage, and I think this is on how learning experience should be finally. So that means like from SAP we are providing standard content, not only with regards to the web assistant but also with regards to standard e-learning content provided based on the current context directly from within the app. This is how it should be. And maybe to give you another outlook, not possible yet, but what we're working on as well, and we're really looking forward to announce that, is actually we want to extend the extensibility scenario even to that standard content. So that means, as you know, okay, we have the extensibility scenario here for S/4HANA that actually customers can change that content, can create their custom content, add their own content in addition. On the other side, we want to make the very same mechanism possible for that kind of tutorials that are provided here. So let's imagine, okay, because I think you received quite often the same question. Customers are asking us, okay, that's good, but I want to plug in my own content. Might it be PPT, or might it be my learning, whatever I have, how can I do that? So here the learning app is actually the answer to it. So, and even the same here, customers in the future will be also able to customize SAP standard learning content to include their own content to be delivered just on top of the application. All right, yeah, this is what I wanted to speak about. Content publishing, when you go and publish content now, you will have, in addition, when you click on advanced, and go down, you can just here select the respective modes that should be published, be considered when publishing. So that means you do not have to hide them before. You can just do that in a comfortable way when publishing the content. And the last one, in the library, whenever you have selected a node, the title of the node is now shown in the library. Little one, but again, I think we got like 5 or 6 customer requests on that as well. All right, so sorry for speaking that fast. I think you know me since a while, so whenever I have a lot to tell, and this is true for that release, I have to speak a little bit faster. I hope you got a good overview. We will put out the announcement of the SP2 release most probably by tomorrow. So whenever you have registered to the Info Center newsletter, you will get, I think then on Monday externally, an email as well, and then actually just access the release notes and make use of the learning materials provided here. Guys, any questions from your side? Feedback, comments? Nobody wants to speak?
This is Jesse. Just one thing, too, if you didn't see, the little computer icon, which is the share content icon, I did upload the PDF for the what's new for the 1704 SP2. So from the chat window, you'll see share content and manage content icon. You will see the PDF of what Mirko just shared.
Right. And maybe to mention that at the end, yeah, I just got the information from Jesse and from other people like that you want to have a separate session about desktop assistant. So this is actually the last topic which should be covered. We will invite to that session for this year. Again, I would really appreciate if you can just drop me an email and just, let's say, summarize the questions you have on desktop assistant deployment, implementation. So that means like I can just prepare that meeting based on your questions. If you want to start from scratch, so how does the desktop assistant work? What is the data model? How's the access flow? Just let me know. We can handle that as well. But I think it's always easier to have some questions. Just let me know. Just drop them via email to me, and then we can have the next session about desktop assistant only. Okay, if there are no further questions, then I would say thanks for joining. Again, if you have any questions on the SP2 release, just let me know. And but again, I think once you make use of those enablement materials, it should be actually straightforward. Then I'm going to close the meeting. Wish you a nice day. Let's see if there's something else. Nope. Wish you a nice day. Oh wait, maybe is something in the chat. Okay. Yep. Wish you a nice day. Have a good one, and hope to see you soon for the next session, which is then about desktop assistant. All right. Bye bye.